here comes. I live down the street. In fact, I'm not even a comedian. I just was walking down the street, saw some balloons, so I came in. Thanks for being here. So I will tell you a little about myself. You might be looking at me saying, is that the love child of Barry Manilow and Barbara Streisand? And I know this is a church, and I saw Jesus, and that's great, and I just want you to know I'm Jewish, but thanks for welcoming me. And, you know, there are stereotypes in the world, you know that, so right away I'm thinking, wow, they could charge, like even for those napkins, maybe a quarter, build up a little fund, put it in the bank, it will make interest. But I'm only kidding. So I used to be a school teacher in New York and Jamaica, Queens for 20 years, and thank you. But I get a pension now so I can sit home and watch the Kardashians and write jokes while you're paying my salary, so you might not like me that much anymore. But I do a lot of volunteer work, and that's why I'm very inspired by this place, and I'm going to promote it on my Facebook page, you know, on Facebook. Because I'm very inspired by what you're doing. But that's not funny, so I have to be funny now. So I want to tell you a story of what happened when I was your age, and it was in the 60s, and to be cool, unfortunately they had these drug parties, and everyone was taking drugs at the party, but I was graduating college and I was going to be a teacher. So they're passing around this drug called Quaaludes. So they said, it'll make your fingers tingly, take it. But I didn't take drugs, but I wanted to fit in, so I got to the party, and when they handed me the Quaalude, I said, I'll take it, but I didn't take the Quaalude. I had a Midol jar, and fellas, if you don't know, Midol is what women take when they get cramps. So that wasn't cool to have at a party either. Either was the pocketbook that I was carrying to the party. I wasn't the coolest person at the party. So I take the Quaalude, I put it on the top of the cotton ball in the Midol jar so I would remember it was there. Remember this part of the story. So next day, even though I just graduated college, they called me to substitute teach. So you get called to substitute teach, it's like the lowest end of the career ladder because nobody would take this first grade class. All the teachers in the whole city, they call somebody who just graduated a month ago. So it gives you an idea of this first grade class, how they were behaving. So I go in, and the first thing I see is these kids going, hey, T-Bird, what up, man? Slap me 5. And they could care less what I was doing there. I said, I feel like I'm at 125th in Lexington. Oh, I am at 125th in Lexington. So they're not listening to me. This kid's breaking the pencil sharpener. I could barely control them. They could care less. And it was at the end of the year. So the books were all stacked up around the room. They could care less. So fast forward to the lunch hour. I got through the morning. In the afternoon, guess what? I felt cramps in my stomach. So I reached for my Midol jar. So I opened the jar, I take the Midol, I said, I still have cramps. It's been 20 minutes, but my fingers are tingling. Oh my God, I took the Quaalude. So all of a sudden, the kid's breaking the sharpener, I could care less. Wow, we have a future engineer in the room. And then the books that were stacked up, I'm like bumping into them like I'm a human pinball machine. And I couldn't talk. So, and this is a true story, by the way. So it's a good lesson to the younger fella there behind the computer. It's a good lesson that we So, never take drugs. So, then, because I couldn't talk, there was a little goody two-shoes in the class, the only kid in the whole class that was paying attention, and she could read. So I said, here's a Dr. Seuss book. So I didn't even know the name of it. So she starts reading like a goody two-shoes, which she goes, Sam I am. So I said, stop! Look at that, we have a teacher who's reading to the class. She's only 6 years old. She goes, shut up, I'm trying to read. So it was getting worse and worse, and at 2:15, instead of getting them packed up and giving them their homework, I said, we're out of here, and I went home, they went home, and I never got called from PS 160 again. And that is a true story. I guess it wasn't that funny, but I'll tell you a little more about how tough the school was. Maybe then you'll laugh. So the Honor Society was on America's Most Wanted. It's a tough school. The school colors were dried blood red and black, and blue. This is how I had to teach them how to read. Run, Spot, run. That was an old school book we used to have in school. Dick's got a gun. Spot is a pit bull. Run, Spot, run. And the 10th graders couldn't even learn from that book. Tough school. So, you heard of carving your sweetheart's name in your desk? These kids carved their sweetheart's name in their sweetheart. Tough kids. Very tough. So you get the idea how tough the school was. So, then I got older, and now I'm going to tell you some jokes about getting older now. I don't know about you, maybe there's people half my age here, but when you get older, you have to make jokes, otherwise you'll be depressed. So you look in the mirror, and they call these laugh lines, but I don't think they're very funny. My friend Selma says, no, they're called marionettes. I said, marionettes? I got the Lion King and Avenue Q going on here. And then it's a little like Joan Rivers making jokes, but like she could get facelifts all the time. She could afford that. So like these, I call them, some people call them crow's feet. I said, I got a hen house going on. Well, you've been a very nice audience. Thank you very much.